Oh man, I can't believe it's actually easier. It was freaking easier for me to use my phone to do this than it was to try to get my damn computer to do it. That's where I'm at. Um, but I got lots of headroom today because I couldn't figure out how to. I think I've locked my aspect ratio or something. Anyways, how is everybody? I'm a giant puddle of mush today. That's where I'm at. I did my freaking exercise. I feel awful. Stupid exercise. I've never liked this exercise thing. I don't know when I'm ever supposed to. I'm never going to like it, I don't think. I like my coffee though. Hello, Lindsay. Hello, Ivan. Is that Ivan from Russia? Um, oh my God, Ivan, I was hearing all about this Russian hack. Apparently, they're alleging that it's the Russians have hacked. I mean, I knew about this solar winds thing before, but apparently there's been like this that it is way more of an infiltration that they'd ever thought of. Hello, Dimitri. How are you, Dimitri? Did I get it wrong? Were you sorry? Was that not you are from? No, Ivan. So you're from Czech, is that right? Where's someone? I can't remember where people are from. I get confused. Okay. Um, Ukraine. Sorry, Ivan. Sorry, Ivan. I get there's too many damn people. Too many damn people, I say. Ukraine. Got it. And you also, and being from Ukraine, I imagine you probably do not want to be called Russian, I imagine. So there you go. Kenny Ken, Patricia, Christopher, Manon. Bonjour, Manon. Dimitri. Was it Dimitri who was from Russia? Ryan from the UK. Richard Dickens. Ivan again. Sorry, I apologize. Rick's World. Genetic username. I love it. Generic username. You can tell what I've been reading. Fox Girl. Woohoo! All right. We got a whole bunch of Nebraska. Who's from Nebraska? Someone's from Nebraska. 42 P's from Nebraska. Very good. Good morning, Tobias. Good morning to you. Chris Midgley says, "Hi, David. It never gets easier. You just end up liking it more during. You get what? So you like it more during. It's still horrible before and after. Is that right? I want to get to the point where I enjoy something in between. That would be nice. I know. How about that, Jupiter? Apparently I blew it. I was telling people she was pregnant ages ago. But apparently she was waiting. I thought you had to wait like 12 weeks or something. And then I just assumed she told people. She look at her, for God's sake. She's obviously pregnant. Hello from Prague. Oh my God. Let me tell you, David Nickel is always trying to get me to Prague. Lovely guy, and I could never do it, but he's always doing a great effort to do that. Emperador, how the hell are you? Let me guess. You got a question. Question today: what was the most difficult scene that you have ever had to record? That is a good one. Let me think about that. The most difficult scene to shoot. The one that stood out for me was way back when I first did a film called Pin, and it was the first film I'd ever done. And so it was the first time I had to do any of this stuff on film, a lot of this stuff on film. I mean, luckily, because I worked with my friends on stuff, let me see if I can just drop this down a little bit. I'm actually using my webcam as the holder for my phone right now. So yeah, so it was Pin, and I can't remember how young I was. I was got to be 20, 21, something like that, or pretending to be 21, something like that. So it was the first time for everything. It was the first time I remember distinctly. I remember sitting in a car as these grips shook the car a little bit, and I was doing a driving scene, and just how. It just felt so bad. Like it just felt so ridiculously stupid. But of course, I'd never had to do it before. And that's just how they film. That's the cheap way of filming TV stuff. And in our case, they didn't even use screens or anything. They were just doing it at night. They had lights and stuff. So they sort of made it sort of almost a bit sort of impressionistic. But I remember that being really difficult to talk and and the other one that I have a really hard time with, which is bizarre. I hate talking on phones. I hate having to have a conversation on film when I'm on a phone. I find those crazy difficult. Even if there's someone talking to you, The best way, honestly, is to have it with someone actually talking to you on the phone, which I suppose they could do easier, but they never do. It's always like someone offset going like, "Yeah, I want to know about the death that happened in the," and you're like, "Mm-hmm, that's right," and it's very hard to get that. Um, yeah, I can't stand phone scenes. For some reason, phone scenes really bother me. I mean, love scenes are awful too. Good God, they're awful. I mean, there's you know, there's a there's the sort of the kid childlike part of you goes like, I'm gonna go kiss a girl, and she's pretty, but they're always just it's just always incredibly awkward. I mean, it feels maybe I'm just too British or uptight. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, I far prefer just hanging out on set and chatting away with people than I do being half naked in bed with them or making out with them. But yeah, it's just oh god, it's just so weird. It's just so weird. You're just so paranoid. You're like, I mean, you just yeah. That's it. So phone. So God, can you imagine if I had to do a phone sex scene? God, that'd be awful. That'd be like a double nightmare. My morning's going okay. I mean, it's definitely feeling the lockdown a bit today. I feel sorry for Jane because she's stuck in this house with these two guys who have very different priorities and stuff than Jane does. I'm very aware that she is having to be a lot more patient than any of us are. So, she's dealing with the gaming obsessed Baz and the rather distracted David and his robots and gaming and programming and I in the middle of the pandemic I pulled apart the top bathroom to renovate it, and of course it's very hard to get parts and things right now. So we've got a bathroom that doesn't work upstairs. So and it's been months. I mean, I'm sort of making excuses. I should probably go and order stuff, but I keep getting paralyzed by choices. I think if there's any plumbers out there, by the way, I'm thinking about going with these shark bite connections. So you cut off the copper pipe, you snap on these shark bites, and then I'm hoping that will now give me the, so basically it's a shark bite thing that snaps on it. I want to order the ones that have a little tap on them that stop so they can be shut offs. So I can cut off the copper pipes, pop on these shark bite taps, turn off the water so that I've now isolated the shower to work on the shower. That would be nice. Oh, really? Oh, so generic username, you like them. You've used them, you like them, they're easy, they're good. Oh, Fox girl, when is there not a renovation? What does it say? House finish, man die. That's basically. They're good for repairs. What are we doing? Well, oh, they are. Everyone likes shark bites. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I want to use PEX and shark bite valves. Okay, great. That's what I'm doing. Generic username. That's exactly what I was planning on doing, and I'm so happy that that is good. Your sister Kate told us about the time you're both crying because you played the part of losing your memory in SGA. Great acting. Your sister both crying because you played the part. Were we both crying? Were we both sobbing away in a scene? Is that right? I remember that. I remember being very good in that scene. Uh, when the shark bites, yeah. If you have a constant construction, if you like constant construction, you should move to New York or Toronto. Toronto, there's stuff going on all the freaking time. Anyways, I'm so okay. That has lifted my moods already. Thank you, generic username, and everyone else who chimed in on that. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the shark bites. I was thinking about just using shark bites and then skipping the PEX altogether because then you don't have to buy the PEX. You don't have to buy. Although then I say that you buy the PEX tubing, but then you would have shark bite connections. That just gets a bit expensive, and I kind of like the idea of PEX because you get to go and you get to snap down on it, and I get new tools. So what am I saying? I'm gonna get a shark bite connection, turn off the water, have it shark bite to PEX, and then PEX through. I've got to put in a shower. I've got to, one of my biggest concerns is how to vent. I've got a vertical vent, a vertical pipe where the water has to flow out of, but it also has to be vented, and I have to redirect the vent, and I'm a little concerned that I'm gonna make the place stinky. Well, I know I'll make the place stinky eventually, but I'm hoping not to do it with the plumbing. So painting your bathroom, much, much smarter. Do I have regrets in my life? Oh my God, yes. Of course you do. How can you get through life without regrets? Big regrets. I wish I'd finished high school. I wish I finished high school because um, I would like to know that I have the basics. And I know that's silly because I know sort of that I do, and that I feel like I could probably get through high school now if I wanted to. Um, and I've actually looked into it. But one of the reasons why I haven't gone back is because I don't want to go back and do. There's some stuff I just don't want to do. I just don't feel like I want to quote unquote waste my time doing stuff that I don't want to learn. I very much enjoyed English and history when I was at school. I shouldn't say that. I very much enjoyed English, parts of English. Let me rephrase that. I enjoyed the odd thing now and again, mainly reading, and that was it. So I don't want to do history. I don't want to do English. I could do French. I like the idea of French, but the written French, again, I'd rather just learn how to speak it. So there's certain prerequisites you need to get a high school diploma. I just want the maths and sciences. That's truly all I want. So I've actually been looking for a really, I mean, other than, I guess Khan Academy would probably, what am I saying? I should just do Khan Academy, really. But I thought maybe there's like some kind of intensive, high school math, high school science, high school biology, chemistry, whatever. Just so I in my head know that I've got everything. Because the problem with teaching yourself, the problem with this whole sort of like lifelong learning thing, is you're just picking bits as you go along. And there's some things I finish, some things I don't, depending on what I'm working on. Usually it's just I usually just research what I need to learn how to do whatever it is that I need to do. But there's something there's something kind of nice about the idea of just knowing that side of stuff is out of the way, and knowing that you've had everything covered. So, GPA, grade point average, you mean GED? GPA. You took an online bio course. Well, look, I mean, the online bio was so the online bio, Tammy, was hello, Tammy, by the way, was just a series of courses, just a series of lectures. So I just listened to the lectures and have been reading through the notes and stuff. So like it's like attending university without actually having to write the papers. So that's been amazing. Math's a little different because math is not a spectator sport. Like that is not something you kick back and listen to them talking about math. You need to be in there doing stuff. So and again with math, you really want to make sure there's no holes in the learning as you go forward, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to do something because and not knowing that there's a chunk of stuff you've missed. So I keep going back to around grade 6 or 7, and I start to plow through the stuff. Most of it is just brain dead easy. But there's every so often there's things that come up and go like, oh, I never learned those. I never learned those definitions. I mean, these aren't, or maybe I did, but I don't remember them. I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people when they get to my ripe old age. But so it would just be kind of nice to have that sorted. So regret wise, yeah, definitely education. I feel like as you get older, you realize just how much time you wasted on stupid things. I wish I hadn't spent so much money and time on drinks and alcohol and wasting my youth on silly things like that when I could have been learning more. I mean, I did a lot of my own learning, to be fair. I did a lot. I did a lot of drinking and carousing, but at the same time, I did a lot of time learning as well. I just wish I'd just done the learning because as boring as I would be, boy, I would be freaking smart. Anyways, David, you start collecting manga and die-cast cars. Good hobby. Really? I've got Lego figures right now. Okay, so here's the things that I'm working on. Lego figures. I don't know why I'm obsessed with Lego figures right now, but they're compact, they're easy to like you could mail them to people if you needed to. And so I've started collecting Lego figures. So if anyone has Lego figures they don't want, feel free to send them my way. I've started getting Lego figures. So I started doing Lego figures, Magic the Gathering. I can't help it. I freaking love it. I love it. I just want boxes and boxes and boxes to go through and open the packs. And it's total addiction. Total addiction. But I love the cards and the whole feeling of the cards and putting them in little plastic wrappers and alphabetizing them and then going like, oh no, let me organize them this way instead. Oh, it's so much fun. And then scanning them into the phone and trying to figure out how best to organize it. Oh, I love that stuff. So there's that. There's the Pokemon cards as well. Although my son is a bit more protective about those. He's got a bunch of these, all the valuable ones he has upstairs, I guess, to just sort of laud over his friends or whatever. But yeah, I would love to do more of that sort of stuff. And the Magic the Gathering stuff, there's a kid that I really want to talk to who's a friend of So it's my agent's assistant's or assistant secretary. I'm not sure what the term would be. Does all the hard work. Her son does a lot of Magic the Gathering. I think does like competitions and stuff. So I'm going to get him on Tech Bandits maybe even this week to just sort of chat with us about that whole process and how he got into it, and why he likes it, and maybe some strategies for going ahead with it. A lot of these, I find there's almost like two types of people. There are people who enjoy playing the game, and then there are collector nerds who just like having all of the having that side of stuff. I sort of fall between both stools there, where I feel like I could be either, but definitely, just given my schedule, sometimes it's just nice to just relax with a big stack of cards and organize them and look through. And I know that's so nerdy, but my God, I love it. Anyways, all right. Okay. Tell Baz to befriend Rasta seeds. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Unpleasant aroma, typically a burned, rotting. What the hell? What the heck? What's Tobias talking about? We got some plumbing going on. I don't have COVID. I did have a bit of a cold. I'm pretty sure this thing's called parasomia, which affects your smell. It's my nose inability to correctly identify. Ooh, see, now I heard that Corona does have an effect on smell, right? Well, whatever you do, go get tested then. Go find out what you're dealing with. Your scene, when you play drums in nothing about not caring about what people think, if you play bad and now you are happy, that line have uplifted me when I needed to. Thank you for that. Oh, that's good, Luke. What was really funny about that scene is I used to drum, right? So we would do a scene and they'd go like, "Nah, it sounds too good." And I was like, "What? No, that was terrible. It was like terrible drumming." And they're like, "No, it's not bad enough." Like to a non-drummer, that looked like good drumming. I was like, "Oh, come on." So they literally had to like walk me through how to drum without rhythm, because I just instinctively, because I drummed for many, many years, I apparently I was quote unquote too good. The reality is, as a drummer, I knew just how awful I was, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, yes, loss of taste and smell is a common symptom. My mom had COVID and lost taste and smell. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. I have an old double box of MTG first years only. Oh yeah, Invisible Dimensions. Look after those. Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah, I don't really have any of the old ones. I didn't get into it early enough. But man, I love looking over all the old cards and stuff, and going like, oh, imagine if we had those. All right, what do we got? Pretty decent deck in Magic the Gathering Arena. Oh yeah, I did some Magic. I did Arena for a bit. I like that. They taught me how to fail at drumming. Indeed, I was in a band, Harvester. I was in a band called The Influence, and we actually did one and only gig. No, that's not true. We did a couple of gigs, but we did one professional gig at a bar in Toronto. I can't even remember the name of the bar was now. It had a giant ant stuck to the side of the building, is all I remember. And we got there, and the guy took one look at us and said, "I can't pay you in beer," because we were all too young. But I'll tell you, we sold a lot of beer because there were a lot of underage people there drinking. I love playing Magic the Gathering. Haven't got much into it yet. I have a couple of decks. Oh my God, it's so much fun, Tobias. It really is amazing. I love it. I really One of the things I miss with the online game is I miss the tactile part of it. I don't miss people, because I'll tell you, those big rooms of people playing Magic the Gathering. I did a couple of those sessions with Baz, because Baz really enjoyed it. I find it a bit intimidating, I gotta say. Because I know so little about it, and when an old guy sits down to this kind of stuff, everyone just expects them to know what they're doing. So I was getting thrashed by 12-year-olds and stuff, and I just felt like an idiot. But it's fun to watch, though. It was really fun to watch Baz play, because you sort of see how he's putting together, all of the. He's very, very good at. He's got a great memory, that kid. So he can pull strategies from his deck in a way that I just don't have the brain for it. My mycelium's not working properly. Speaking of which, my freaking mushrooms died. So they all dried out. I sprayed them and sprayed them and sprayed them. They still dried out. So what I've done is I've rotated the bag, cut two little X's in the top. I'm going to try for another couple of sprouts. I would pay to see a tween beat you at Magic. It's not pretty, Fox Girl. Well, there you go. Maybe that's my future employment. I'll play Magic the Gathering online and be beaten thoroughly all the time. Hey, here's a question. With the Magic the Gathering arena, can you choose who you play? Like, could I like say, could I like invite friends to come and just play Magic the Gathering with me? Like, could we just play games like that? I need a humidifier. I need a lot of stuff. Actually, what I'm thinking about doing is getting, there are these sort of like, Jane will freaking hate it, but these like sort of these little indoor greenhouses. So they're plastic. They almost look like those plastic things you put clothes in, but they enclose a little shelving unit. And then I thought that might be a good way to go because that would keep I could keep the temperature sort of I keep the temperature right because it might be a bit cold down here. I'm cold now. I mean, the fact of the matter is, when the temperature drops for some reason in the the basement is not quite as cozy as I'd like it to be. One day it shall be cozy. One day it'll be cozy and somehow connected to the garage. I think because I think there should be a tunnel that takes us to the garage so that we can have like so the tech bandits can come in through the garage, and then there's a secret passageway that takes them into here if they need to. Greenhouses are great. Okay, yes. Oh, you can do that with Arena. Oh, great. So I could pop on Discord and be chatting with friends while I play a game of Magic the Gathering. That is brilliant, and I should do that. Hello. I don't know how to say your name, but with the many thumbs and your 4G LTG sign or whatever it is, LTE. Put your block inside one of those bins you had. Mini greenhouse. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. That could work. Although they need oxygen too, right? I mean, okay, what do we got? We are at minus 17 right now. I don't know what we were at. I don't even want to know. David, quick question from Bam Fox says, is there a version of Dog's Breakfast in HD we can buy somewhere? I have the DVD version. It's getting old. Yeah, no kidding, huh? No, they never released it. We shot it in HD, but they never released. They only released a standard DVD version of it. I have somewhere the giant tapes that they use for those things, and I could. Oh my gosh, Peter DeRosa, thank you very much. So yeah, there is not a. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I didn't even know you could do. I didn't realize you could do it on the phone as well. I just assumed that it was because I was on the computer that the chat that the what are they called, super chats are showing up. But thank you. That's very nice. There was a comment attached to that, so I should see that. Thank you for all the joy you bring us in this difficult time, David. Your characters are some of the best ever. Abs, Cube, and Cube is a perfect film. I thought you were talking about my abs, my wonderful abs that I've been working on because this is a burn alert. But thank you, Peter. That's great. I'm so glad. There's a new one. There's a new Cube out, or about to come out, and it's a Japanese remake. I think it's changed a bit from what we were doing, but it looks freaking great. I just got to say. All right, so Tammy doesn't know anything about mushroom growing, but I know about greenhouses and hoop. What the heck's a hoop house? Has a hoop house. Put the block on the lid and then to put the bid on over the top and prop open the lid with the towel rolls or something. I see, yes. So you get a little bit of air in there. Mushrooms have strangely specific requirements. There's a need to be very, very sterile when you are sort of inoculating things or trying to grow the mycelium. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at HEPA filters and what are they called? Laminar flow hoods. So basically, a way of in a non-disturbed way, having a flow of air that is just pushing any possible contaminants out of the way while you're working on your stuff, which I just think would be kind of cool, although very noisy. So there's that. So the new Cube is Japanese. There'll be lots of screaming. Oh yeah. Well, did I do it? I did that. There was a lot of screaming in ours, wasn't there? Geez, after Cube 2 and Cube 0, which wasn't so bad, it's brave or dumb to go on the Cube field. The video games are okay. There are Cube video games? No. Are there Cube video games? I think you should make sure you have to tighten up temperature, set up the shrooms before you start again. Yeah, I mean, interesting. Use a vacuum cleaner HEPA filter. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that could work. Cube Live at Bidokan. Really. Half Dead and Half Dead 2. Interesting. Thank you. Those are two games I should be playing, I guess. Is the need to be sterile to ensure safe eating of the mushrooms? I don't know, Easy Sparky. I think the problem is that contaminants grow in the same environment, right? So I think it must be, my hunch is that if you try to grow, like for example, if you were to use, they grow very well in cardboard because obviously that is just basically a mashed up tree. which of course is nummy for mycelium. So you put these mycelium strands in there in the hopes that they will grow. If they are contaminated either by you breathing on them or touching them or other spores coming in, yeah, you don't know what you're getting. Basically, you wouldn't know what you were growing, and also the ones that you want won't grow because it'll be just consumed by whatever else is going on. The real problem with growing mushrooms is there is so much bad info out there. Until you do it yourself for a few months and fail a bunch, you will never get good at it. Well, Terabyte Killer, wouldn't you say the same thing about anything? I mean, I just assume I'm going to fail miserably in general, and then when things work out, it's always like, oh, what a pleasant surprise. Um, uh, Speaking of failing, I've got to get in touch with Gimpy God today because I'm supposed to talk to him. I wanted to talk to him around 4 o'clock today, but my son needs me to go to check out a new school. So we're gonna brave the subway and the bus, which I'm really very very uncomfortable with. We're gonna take the subway, and then a bus up to go and check out this school that Baz has applied to and has been accepted to. I'd rather he didn't go to it. I would really rather he went to one of the schools here. He's applied to a couple of schools, and one of them is very very close to us, and I think he should go to that one. But he doesn't. He's adamant he doesn't want to go to it. So I don't know. I'm not sure why. Old Get What Games. How are you, Old Get What Games? And to Maya for saying hi. Is it cold in Canada now? Yeah. Well, but Canada's a big place, buddy, or whoever. It is a big, big place. Right now in Toronto, it is, yeah. I mean, -6, not as bad as it's been. Uber the ride, says Darren Crawford. That's a good point. The problem is the whole point is we're trying to do this. So one of Baz's friends is also being accepted there and wants to do the trip as well. So we're sort of doing it to see what the process of getting there is like. And the reality is, he goes back to school tomorrow. He goes back to real school tomorrow. And I don't want him to, frankly. I like him. I like having him here. But yeah, he's got to go back to school tomorrow. So, explain about high schools, please. All right, Tammy. So there are two types of schools here. Well, there's a few types of schools here, but so you can do homeschooling here. I asked about that. Jane said unequivocally no. Forget it. She's like, you didn't finish high school. There's no freaking way you're teaching our son. Probably wise. Because one of the ADHD things is you assume you can do everything, and there's no way I would have had time to do it properly. And also, kids don't listen to their parents. Why would they listen to their parents? That's a good reason for teachers is to have teachers talk to them instead. There are private schools. There are public schools. Public schools. If they are in your neighborhood, you automatically get to go there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be at that school. It is possible that you go to that school, and then there is a bus that you get on that takes you to another school somewhere else that will be able to house you because there's too many people in the neighborhood. So it's a little bit of a hit and miss up there, which makes me very nervous. And we've got Baz in private school right now because well, frankly, because of COVID, and keeps the grade size down considerably. But we were also concerned about the grade sizes before that. He was in a class of 35, and he was just getting lost. We were very worried about it. Sorry. Obviously, not enough oxygen down here. I'm guessing that those mushrooms as they're I'm sure rapidly growing next door are probably just creating an awful lot of CO2, and that's what's putting me to sleep. Or the fact that I just don't freaking sleep anymore is that I've given up on sleep. So yes, you get the public school. You've also got these alternative public schools, which are schools that specialize in different areas of schooling, which again I don't like because I don't like the idea. I think the whole idea of schooling should be about breaking down those sort of pillared education of math, science, biology. Like they shouldn't be separate things. The whole point in the future, the crossing of those, you've got to cross those streams. You've got to get people bringing art to science and science to art and math to art and science to geography and obviously and history and math to history. And I mean there's just so many you need these crossovers. I really think you need these crossovers, and I think there's a tendency to go like, "Oh, I am specializing in history, so I don't have to do maths or any of that kind of stuff." And I think that's just ridiculous. I think it's freaking stupid. I also don't see why it's any more important to know how to do math than it is to know how to draw something or to do French. I mean, why do they push French for another language, but they don't push the ability to draw something, which is the absolute best way to convey your ideas to people. You draw a freaking little picture. You go, oh, this is, or this, a little map. This is where I want you to go, or this is what they look like, or this is what I want to build. I mean, those are, to me, fundamental skills. I don't understand why there would be more of a. It's a completely political thing that they want you speaking French as well. I think it's great. It'd be fantastic to speak as many languages as possible. I've got nothing against languages. I do have a real problem with putting for some reason more credence on the ability to speak French than the ability to freaking draw. I mean, like, or to um, God, what else? Or home ec, or mechanics, or car repair, or any of that kind of stuff. Rocketry. I mean, it's just silly to me. So -35 is a normal temperature for Russia. Woo! I mean, we definitely get -35s in Toronto winters sometimes, but it is rare. It is rare. Although, like, we're more like -20, and then you get the wind chill. The wind chill is what really brings it down. So Baz has applied, much to his father's chagrin, to some art schools in the hopes of doing, I think, more of the sort of the media arts, like kind of do some more. He wants to be a streamer. He wants to be a streamer. So I think he wants to do editing. He wants to do all that kind of stuff. I truly believe that he would be better to learn that stuff online. I think it'd be better just to take like a crash course in editing or something, to get those skills. And I think until he has that impetus to do it himself, I'm not sure how much learning he's going to get out of that. Although hopefully he will be introduced to it at these schools, and then he will want to dig further. As I say, it's like inspiration over education in my mind. Once you've got the kids excited about something, then they will go on their own and learn it. And if they aren't inspired, they're not going to learn it whether it's taught well or not. So. Yeah, so he has applied to a couple of art schools. He got into two of the three that he applied to, so I was rather proud of that. And then the one he didn't get into, I'm very happy about. But that's just me. But I definitely, as a part of me that is a bit worried about the idea of an art school. I worry that there's going to be too much of a focus on that and not enough of this, science and math stuff that I love. Obviously I focused on the arts when I was growing up, and I feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff because there wasn't that crossover. I could be writing plays about scientists, or making films about historical events, or I just think there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of room there to find some really fun inspirations to create. And I worry that the art schools tend to focus on sort of, again, social activism stuff, which I understand. I think that's absolutely great and necessary. But I feel like the art just seems to, I don't know. It seems to. I worry that it excludes the maths and the sciences, and I think that's a great shame. One of my favorite playwrights of all time is a guy called uh, oh dear God, John Mighton. Is John Mighton, and he did a play called God, it was A Short History of Night, which was based on a portion of a book called. Wait a second, did I get this right? It was A Short History of Night. Was the name of the play. The book was was by Timothy Ferris, and it might have been called A Short History of Night. Did I get that right? God, it was so long ago. Anyways, point being is he writes math and science related topics into plays, and I think they're genius. I think they're absolutely genius. So, and I think the reason why they stand out to me is because they're different. They don't usually have that stuff. They don't usually address those sort of things. So, because I don't think people normally make those connections. So I worry about an art school where people aren't getting that. Quick, I'm running out of battery. Too tired to get off the couch to charge. Okay, Eva, well, thank you so much for joining us before your battery dies. Art schools must have minimal core expectations laid out by the government, so math, science, etc., but allows kids to explore the arts more. Yes, there's still the requirements to do the maths and the sciences and stuff. My concern is that that is not why kids are there, right? And unless you're meeting other kids who are excited about this stuff, if everyone's there just to do plays and become movie stars or get into the film industry or the theater industry, I worry that then you are right away you are making a choice as to what's going to inspire him or not. Whereas if he was around other people, I know he's very similar to me in ways, and I feel like that there are things that could come up for him that I would never imagine that would inspire him in a way that I wouldn't have sort of foreseen, and or that he would have foreseen at this point. I mean, a good example is philosophy. I mean, he really, really enjoyed philosophy, which I freaking hated. But he really, like, he sort of lit up about that stuff while that was going on. And then, of course, then they move on to something else and he's bored again. So, he's not so he's not so weak-minded to be unduly influenced. Yeah, but you can't help it. I mean, if you're surrounded by this stuff all the time, it's like advertising. They advertise to you 150 times in the hopes that one week moment you'll go like, maybe that's interesting. Let me have a look. That kind of stuff. So, coffee is getting cold. It's so true. It is. It's like you're here and you knew that. ZPM. No, ZPM. Oh, it is ZPM. Very good. Yes, good. ZPM indeed. All right, what do you got? Hello, Rebel Time Lady. Thank you, Puzzler. I don't think he is particularly weak-minded on this stuff either. I just worry that he's, I just want him as many options as possible. No, Fox Girl, I can't. That's the funny thing is, I truly believe that parents, there's something about teenagers and parents that they just don't. There's no. Yeah, if I'm suggesting it, it's probably a bad thing. That's generally the way it works. So I can't bring myself to get into philosophy. Opal Mist, how you make me laugh. Jersey Dolphins, and then Leslie and Corey, man. Hello from the national capital. National capital, like, we talking Ottawa or are we talking, Washington, D.C.? What is it? I'm late getting in. I was watching Kate's interview on Dial the Gate. Very funny. Congrats on being an uncle. I know, no kidding, huh? Is that the first time everyone's heard about this? Yeah, Miss Liz. So your oldest is 13. So mine's 13 too. Baz is 13 as well. Hello, Miss Liz, by the way. Fabulous, Miss Liz. And yeah, they don't want to listen to me. They don't want to listen to their parents. They might listen to someone else's parents. Like, what's funny is the Tech Bandits will listen to me in a way that Baz would never listen to me. Although Baz will share, I find, on the Tech Bandits in a way that he doesn't often in general life. Unless you walk the dog. You walk the dog at night with the kid and you find out stuff that you wouldn't any other way. So yes, I'm an uncle, whatever. God, I've been an uncle for so freaking long. It's about time Kate had a bloody child. All right. First time she's made it public. I see. I've been telling people for ages. My oldest is 16, and he still doesn't want to listen to me. What do you mean still doesn't want to? It's 16. Good luck. You wait till they never want to listen to you. I still question my father's on a lot of stuff. Would it be a possibility to have Michael Shanks on your stream? I'll have to ask him. It's not really in keeping with my Tech Bandit stuff. I'm not sure that the Tech Bandits are particularly excited about that stuff. But maybe I could talk to him about like directing or acting or something like that. Maybe that's something I could bring into the mix. And I need to do another Writers Bandits at some point too. We've got to figure that out. My friend who I wanted to talk to about that is moving into pre-production on a film that he's working on. I have 2 daughters, 4 and 6. They are a handful. Yep, Corey, man, I'm sure they are. I had 5 younger sisters, so I'm with you. Some plans for TV or movie for 2021. Yes, Bam Fox, working on a couple things right now. One of them is Clarice, which you can start watching now. I don't show up until later, but definitely start watching so you know what's going on. And then there's another one that I can't talk about yet. But I'm actually working on that again a bit tomorrow. So, how about interviewing Jane and Kate about writing? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would talk about Jane about producing, maybe Kate about writing. Dink for life. What the hell does that mean, Jim the Eva? Hello, Jim. Whatever you're on about. Everyone should be following Jim the Evo, by the way. Go follow Jim the Evo and go watch him on Twitch. He will be James R. Gurney on Twitch if you want to go watch him. And then of course go check out my son's Twitch as well, which is I am Ironham. So I am Ironham, and that's his thing. Dual income, no kids. Ugh. I wish, Jim. We're single income, one child. How's that? Well, not single income, but I mean, Jane only gets paid when the movie gets done, right? So there's long periods. It's feast or famine around here. Everyone's saying hi to James now. That's very good. Where are we at now? Oh my God, 40 minutes. I should get moving. So as I say, we got to go. I got to take the kid to this new school to sort of check it out. We're not actually going into the school, but we wanted to do the commute. And maybe he'll go like, oh my God, this is forever. And it takes too long. And he's got to do it every freaking morning. So I'm hoping that'll talk him out of it. But at the same time, I'm open to everything. If he wants to, I never said anything against the school that he decided against. So that's, until he decided. And then once he decided, I was like, oh, thank God you're not going there. I'm trying to bite my tongue about these other ones. What was that? So, O2, you can breathe again. What have I missed? Yes, exactly. I'm back. My life will depend on your capacity on bringing that Dr. Jackson. My flatmate will murder me if she won't be able to send her love to him. Please calm her down. Her name is Esther. Okay, Esther, for God's sake. There's no Daniel Jacksons here, I'm afraid. It's just me. And yeah, so, and for God's sake, give Luke a break, give Luke a break about that. We all wish that Michael Shanks was with us always, all the time, but we can't have what we wish all the time, right? Here at my large mansion, only single income. There you go. Does he have friends wanting to go to the new school? No, what's funny is his friend is actually going to one of the schools that he applied to that he did not. The one of the three that he applied to that he didn't get into is the one that his friend got into, which is a drag. I mean, they apply for different programs, but yeah, I guess there's a smaller number of people. Sorry, not smaller number. I guess there's a smaller number of people kids accepted for the film. He applied as a director, which I thought was kind of interesting, because he hasn't shown an awful lot of interest in directing until that form showed up and asked him what he wanted to do. So I'm sort of curious to see where he's going with that, and whether that means, I don't know whether, again, I feel like that was the closest thing to his streaming that he could find on the application there. So have you seen Zoo? It's on Netflix and it's really, if you haven't already, okay, so I'll have to check that out. Okay, I will check that out. Zoo, very good. Go check out White Tiger, fantastic movie, and Prospect, another really great sci-fi with Pedro Pascal. Okay. Leslie Alexa Doig, You're Not Tour. I'm not him. I shall survive her wrath, and she sends love to you too. Oh, well, that's nice. As long as she's also a McKay fan as well, then it'll be fine, Luke. Macworld's Entertainment. Oh wow, Rodney, are you still live? I am still live. We're still alive, partially alive. My God, I'm just freaking exhausted. Oh, good. Sam Fisher Chaos likes Clarice. Oh, good. I'll tell you, what an amazing bunch of actors those are, and writers and directors. I mean, like I've been really impressed with Clarice. I'm up at what is it? We're on episode 8 or 9 now, I think. And as I say, I just sort of pop in here and there. Whether I'm allowed to say that or not, I don't know. But I'm just blown away by the actors. I mean, Rebecca's extraordinary. Cutlets is fantastic. Devon. Oh my God, she's a star. She's a star. You wait, you're gonna see a lot more of Devon. She's fantastic. And of course, Rebecca is Rebecca's just killing it. I mean, she's already a star, really. I have finally made it to one of these streams from one of my all-time favorite actors. Oh my God, who is it? Oh my God, Leslie, who's your favorite actor? Thank you very much, Lewis. Appreciate you coming by. Are you really Louis McKay? Have you got a McKay there? Is Noodle still happy with the Womit Light PC. I just ordered a few parts to my Berta PC. Ah, interesting, crazy nut Canuck. Yeah, Noodles is loving that PC. Absolutely loving it. We got to get her doing some more stuff on it. Rodney, what would it take to get you on my show for an interview? You, me, one on one with the great Rodney McKay, Mac World's Entertainment. I do it once in a while. Sometimes I'm a little reticent because what I find is that I get asked to do interviews all the freaking time. I mean, like I'm flattered, but I feel like I'm here doing stuff anyways. It just feels weird to go on to other people's channels and do it. I've had a couple of experiences, little dodgy experiences with online interviews, and so I'm a little gun shy on that stuff. I must admit. I do things like dial the gate and stuff because I really owe the Gate World people a lot for their, for their like exhaustive resource on Stargate, and also just for being lovely folks who've sort of helped out and helped the show out and helped the God, even Dog's Breakfast helped with that. I mean, just great bunch. So yeah, I sorry if I just try. The problem with if I do one-on-ones with everyone, then I can only talk to a certain number of people. Whereas this, I can talk to one on what do we got? 105. Holy crap. Okay, one in 100 people. There you go. You know what I mean? So I feel a bit like whenever I do a one-on-one with someone, I feel like I'm taking time away from those other 104 people or 103 now. Look at that. As soon as I pointed it out, everyone disappeared. Great to hear. Never found out if Noodles is a boy or a girl. She is a girl. I believe she identifies as female, I believe is what we would say, but I don't want to speak for her or them. Did you find your Y-axis bearings in your 3D printer to get really noisy? I'm thinking of getting Aegis bearings. I am ashamed to say I haven't built the CNC yet. I'm kind of embarrassed. I mean, Jonathan MLH was extraordinarily generous in getting us that stuff. Because it's so freaking cold and miserable, and my garage is just not equipped for that. I need to put it in a garage during the summer, basically. If I build it down here, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it out there. Or if I build it down here, I'll have to figure some way of handling the noise and the dust and stuff. So I was going to put it in the garage, but of course my garage is basically one side of the wall is missing. So there's sort of snow and animals in that side, and it's really cold, and I'm just worried about it being it's just not a great place for any kind of CNC machinery right now. So I think what I will probably end up doing is building it in the basement and just figuring it out from there. It's rather musical when it runs. Oh, does it? Oh, fantastic. I can't wait. What's up, McKay? I just found your channel. Couldn't be happier that it exists. Current rewatching Atlantis on my Blu-ray collection. Oh, fantastic. Double dose. Well, enjoy. Generally what happens is people watch the entire show, then they go back and they watch it again. So everyone seems to know more about it than I do at this point. Rather than interviews, you would probably have more fun with simple chats or discussions, more like a podcast setting. I mean, that's the thing is Lewis, I did Dial the Gate, which was fantastic. Go check that out. That was a great chat. In fact, I want to do another one of those because we only got through a tiny portion of the things we wanted to talk about. Have you kept in touch with the other actors from SG1 and Atlantis? Yeah, I mean, there's the odd sort of tweet or text or, that kind of thing. Jason's up here shooting C right now. Although I never see him. He's so freaking busy. I got in touch with Joe when he was up here, but again, couldn't connect. David Nickel and I will go and have coffee when he's up here. Of course, that's not happening a lot right now. I mean, COVID's really changed a lot of that. Polly McGee and I tend to text each other once in a while, just sort of checking in with each other, making sure we're okay, and saying hi and stuff. Who else? Jewel State, usually Twitter. Amanda Tapping. Haven't talked to Amanda for a while now, actually. I mean, because there's no conventions, it's not a lot of. I don't see them nearly as much. Mush from Istanbul. Wow. Oh my God, fantastic. And Eative or Threative VFX Studio, how are you doing? I know I haven't got back to you on any of that stuff yet. I will take you up on it at some point, but there's just too much to do right now. So I think Flanagan did see. I'm assuming that's the case. Wouldn't it be fun to be on the Orville? Oh my God, that'd be great. David Reed does a great job with Dial the Gate. Yeah, because first off, David knows an awful lot about the whole Stargate stuff. And also, he's just a personable guy, right? He's just a good guy. What about Kate? I just watched her interview on Dial the Gate, and it was fantastic. Oh, very good. Well, Kate is a damn fine, funny person, I've got to say. I always maintain that Kate is one of the funniest women I've ever met. Um, and yeah, the Orville would be fun. I'd learned no Czech words from David Nickel. Are you kidding? He kept those secret. He doesn't want to tell me what's going on behind my back. No worries, fella. Busiest stink here at the moment. Oh, good. Okay, that's good. Good. Busy's good. What are you working on? Anything you can talk about? Or God, that coffee's getting cold. Is Stargate dead or alive? Stargate's in stasis. That's probably the best way of putting it. I think Stargate. I can almost guarantee you they will do another Stargate. The question is just what form it will take, and when the hell it'll happen would be my guess. I doubt very much that they will be. I think it would probably at this point it makes more sense just to reboot it than to try to recreate it. I can't imagine how they would get everyone back and how they'd make it happen. So but Disney might buy Stargate. I don't think Disney will. I'd heard that Amazon was looking at buying MGM, but again, MGM doesn't own their library, right? Or only owns certain key franchises in the library, if that makes sense. So David Nickel was actually swearing on screen in his language. Yeah, there's a bit of that. And I heard about some of the stuff he said afterwards, and I was like, really? Where he sort of broke the fourth wall on that stuff. So I definitely don't approve of that, but I don't approve of much of the things that Zelenka did. You need to make a coffee mug heater for your post-burn alerts. You know what's funny is I could just put it I've got that stupid trash can Mac. I should really be leaving it, just put it in the top there. I keep it nice and warm. Home automation stuff and tutorial videos. Ooh, cool. I do like home automation, I must say. Yeah, Disney basically owning everything. Are you going to get to show up on Malazzi's new show? Don't know. I have no idea. If you're shooting here, maybe. Zelenka is the best scientist ever. Jan is banned. Best scientist ever. Jim the Evo likes his Mac, and that's good to know. It's funny, Jim. I'm actually looking at Mac laptops again because I need another laptop. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just get a souped-up Mac. But I'm a little concerned about these M1 chips. I'm not sure if I want to go with the M1 right now because nothing's being ported to it. And I've fallen for that early Mac thing before where I end up with a computer that nothing runs on. Wait a sec. So has Disney actually bought has Disney actually bought something? Have they actually bought MGM in some way? The only thing I've heard of was Amazon buying MGM, but that was it. If your computer, I'm guessing, is running hot enough to actually heat coffee, then cold coffee isn't your biggest concern. It's funny. It's the trash Mac, and the trash Mac is it really is trash. They're considering it. Well, I mean, look, it's all about buying all these franchises, right? Look, I don't care who buys it. I just wish they'd do something with it. Frankly, it seems crazy to me. It's badly merchandised. It should be much. I mean, I wish there was better Stargate merchandise out there, and frankly, I don't know why they stopped the show. So I can't even imagine a Stargate show without the old characters. I don't think I'd watch a reboot. I'm still heartbroken about the canceled SGA. Well, you never know. Who knows? I mean, they reboot stuff all the time. They only bought a few properties from MGM. Interesting. So really MGM is like selling themselves piecemeal. Are they like a bit here and a bit there? All right, I must go. I've talked for way too long, and I've got to get on with my day. This is Baz's last day before he has to go back to school. Although I think he's hoping for a snow day because they keep threatening like a massive snowfall here. So we'll see. All right, Harvester Commander, you get out of here. I'm going to get out of here too. What do we got? I'd watch another spinoff, but probably not a remake. Huh. Well, there you go. That's good to know. All right. Hopefully, snow day. That would be kind of fun. Baz is hoping for the first day of school to be canceled because of a snow day. Vancouver does not understand snow day. It's true. It's completely. Well, that happens every so often. What do we got? Thank you for saving my life today. Okay. You're welcome. I've saved someone's life, apparently. My work is done then. Our snow just melted here in Scotland. Wow, my God, it's suddenly everyone's getting all of their comments in as fast as they possibly can. Oh my God, get them in quickly. Thank you, David. Goodbye. P7 out. Thank you, Ivan. Have fun. Apologies for the Russian comment. Have a good day. Bye for today. Thank you, Lindsay. Glitterhoof. I shall have a lovely day. Thank you. I will say be safe, be kind, be brilliant. And until we geek again, I will say cheerio and huzzah. Bye, everyone.